such a beautiful rainy day today. I wanted to take the chance to come outside and record this video and to say hello. Welcome to our channel. Let's end mental health stigma now. My name is Abisola Amina, and this channel is dedicated towards helping people who are suffering from mental illness or people who just need a little bit of mental health support. Today's video, I wanted to be a little bit more personal and talk to those who are in the darkness right now. For the last 4 years, I have been in a very tough battle of my life, fighting depression and the misery and the pain of being in such a dark, lonely place for so long. It was not an easy place to be, and if you are there right now and you happen to be watching this channel or watching this video, I want to talk to you directly. This channel, when I created it, it was for the purpose of, I asked myself, what would I need, what would I have needed when I was in this dark place? I wish I had a place I could have gone, and all the information that I eventually collected over the years, I could have gone to one place and find those things, find those resources that would help me to get back on my feet. And this is what I am attempting to create through this channel and our Facebook group, Let's End Mental Health Stigma Now, to try to reach myself when I was in the deep dungeon of depression. So today's video is, I want to speak specifically to you who is in that deep dungeon of depression and you're afraid and you don't know how to get out, you're hopeless, you feel a sense of complete isolation, you feel lost, you feel detached from reality, you feel detached from your family, you feel detached from the things you used to love, you feel detached from your own self, you feel detached from the old you feel detached from everything. And that feeling of detachment can be a very lonely, isolating feeling. Speaking about my experience with mental illness, is not the easiest thing to do for obvious reasons. People call me brave and say how courageous I am for speaking up against the stigmas of mental illness and sharing my story so openly and so boldly. And I would not call it bravery, I would call it necessity. Because where I was or where I have been was so dark and so scary and so difficult to overcome, I would not even wish this on my so-called worst enemy. I don't have any worst enemies, but if I did, I wouldn't wish that on the person I dislike the most. And that's for real. So if you are in this deep dark throes of depression, in a lonely place, and you don't know what to do or where to turn, let me tell you, I remember when I was there, and it was not too long ago when I emerged out of there. The only way out is going deeper and facing the darkness. I'm not going to lie and tell you if you do mantras every day and you meditate every day and you do positive affirmations, you're going to get out. No, that is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the type of depression or mental illness where you have a sad day today, or you lost your job, or not minimizing any of those things, because those things bring pain and suffering equally. But I'm talking about the temporary feelings of depression or sadness that you feel, and we call it depression because we're so blasé about that word depression. Any type of sadness someone feels, they say they're depressed. So when somebody who's really suffering with depression say that they're depressed, a lot of times it's minimized because everybody is saying they're depressed. So when you're really depressed and you say you're depressed, what's the difference? So I'm talking to you who you've been going through this for a long time. It's chronic. I have been going through the symptoms of depression from a very young age, as far back as my early teens. Okay? And I did not know what those symptoms were because I was growing and I was becoming a young woman, and I was always called moody or sometime-ish, and I used to have a lot of erratic mood swings one moment, and I accepted those labels, the moodiness and the sometime-ish, because I was that. One moment I am elated, I'm happy, I'm the life of the party, I'm the clown. In a split second, my mood would drastically change. Somebody would say something or nothing would trigger me, and I would just go into this deep, dark place, and you have no control over it. So when this happens from the time you're young, it's like, how do you know how to deal with it? So if you've been experiencing all of those symptoms for a long time, or you just started experiencing those symptoms and you're in a place where you don't know how to help yourself and you feel hopeless, the only way out is you're already in the dark space. You're already in that place where you're alone with your own thoughts and your own feelings. You cannot run away from it anymore, because this is like rock bottom. Like, this is really rock bottom. Don't run away anymore from yourself. The most painful thing you'll ever do is facing your own self, facing the things that you're not most proud of, the most shameful things that you've done that did not represent your true nature, but you did them anyway because you're so broken, you're so hurt, you're so disconnected from your true nature, from your true self, that to hide the pains that you're going through, or you think that you're hiding the pains that you're going through, you think that you're hiding the trauma that you've experienced by becoming all different personas, the life of the party girl, I don't give a F girl, I do what I want girl, all of that, all of those masks that we wear in order to protect the brokenness, the broken little girl that is screaming inside for love, screaming inside for attention, screaming inside because she's lost and she's broken and she's desperate. You have to go back and face her. You have to go back and ask her what happened. You have to go back as the little boy that used to get in trouble, that was always being disciplined in school. The little boy, they say that the bad boy. You need to go back. We all need to go back. The little shy girl, the little precocious boy, we need to go back. We need to go back to the beginnings of what started all of this. And for me, that is what I had to do. So today, if I want to leave one thing with you, somebody who's suffering, that is looking for one tip today, you have to be willing and you have to be ready to go back to the beginnings of what has brought you here. And you have to be willing to face yourself. You have to be willing to go through the trauma. You have to be willing to look yourself in the mirror and forgive yourself for the things you've done that you're not proud of. You have to be willing to go back to ask for forgiveness when it's necessary. You have to be willing to hear no because of some of the hurts that you've caused. You have to be willing to be okay with losing people and people losing you. You have to be okay with facing yourself and eventually, slowly, painfully accepting yourself again. And that is the brutal, life-shattering process I went through. It's not an easy process, I'm not going to lie. It's going to take everything out of you. for you to become the version of yourself that you probably have always hoped for, but you've not been able to ever find that flow that takes you to that place. I have been on a self-help, self-development, self-transforming journey for a very long time. The pains I felt, the things that I felt inside and I contended with inside, they were a lot. And because of that, I despite the many failures that I've gone through trying to figure my life out, the many bad choices that I make, the roads that I took, that I don't regret any of it now. They've caused a lot of pain in my life and in the lives of others. But one thing that's necessary is that for you to be able to get out of the deep dark well that you're in right now, you have to own your entire life. You cannot blame anybody anymore. You have to own your story, and you have to own your story. You cannot allow other people to continue telling your story. You cannot allow your mother's story to be your story, your father's story to be your story, your ex-husband's story to be your story. You cannot allow your sister's story to be your story. You have to define your own story, and the only way to define your own story and to live your own story is by going back, researching your childhood, your heritage, your family, generation, your cycles of behaviors in your family. Look within, look at your grandmother, your grandfather, your uncles, your cousins. See if there are patterns of behavior in them that you have. Sometimes these are generational behaviors and patterns of behaviors that we have to break in our own lives that we don't even aware of. So here you are trying to live your own life, and you are stuck and you don't know why you're stuck. You try everything and you're still stuck. You're intelligent, you're ambitious, you have everything it takes to be successful, but for some reason, no matter how hard you try, you are simply stuck. I had to figure out what was causing me to get stuck. And that's the reality of when life gives you a perfect opportunity. Mental illness can be the greatest opportunity of your entire life if somehow you learn how to use it as a blessing instead of seeing it as a curse. Despite the pain, use the suffering, use the pain to transform you on the inside. Don't run away from it anymore. So I want to tell you, and I would like to implore to you, if you are in the dark right now, and yes, by going through the pain and facing the pain, it will make you feel worse before it gets better. And I don't want this video to be about doom and gloom. I want this video to be about inspiration. Remember, the person that is sitting in right now, I was 243 pounds 2 years ago. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I wanted to die. I had no concept of the future. I lived in my past and regrets from my past. I lived with what happened in my childhood. I live in what this person did and that person did. I lived for everyone and what everyone said that I was. And I couldn't find myself no matter how hard I tried. So now I'm telling you, look at me. I was able to do it. I don't want these videos to be too long because I know those people that I'm trying to reach, you can't sit down and have a long attention span to listen to long videos. I've been there, I know. So I want those videos to be short as possible, but to the point. So I want to say for you today, just think about what I'm saying. You know there is truth to what I'm saying. You have been too afraid to face yourself and too afraid to be honest with yourself. The depression or the mental state that you're in right now is a perfect opportunity if you learn to face yourself or have the courage enough to stop running away and being bold and brave enough to chase the darkness. Don't let the darkness chase you. Start chasing it. Start asking it for answers. Ask it, why did you choose me? Why am I here? Why am I here alone with my own thoughts and I'm ready to die? Why? If you ask enough whys and ask enough questions and you dare enough to face, because there's one thing to ask the questions and another thing to know whether you're ready for the answers. And a lot of times we're not ready for what we ask for. So it takes a process. It took me a very long time to finally able to sit here and talk to you. But that was one of my whys. I always knew that I have a gift of inspiration, and because I am a highly empathetic person, I tend to feel what people are going through very deeply. So it's easy for me to understand and relate to a lot of people from all walks of life. And that is something that I realized, took for granted, and I realized that not many people can do that, but I've been gifted with that. And because of that, I want to use that gift along with my experiences to try to reach us who've been in the darkest of the dark. So I'm saying all of this to say there is hope. I was where you are not too long ago. I'm not lying. I'm still every day fighting. Today I have a high energy. For the last couple of weeks, even the last couple of videos that I've made, it took everything out of me to create them. And that's the scary thing about when you're suffering from mental illness, because it's a silent and invisible symptoms. You can look like this right now and so depressed. And that's why it's so hard to explain depression to people to understand it. I don't look like I'm somebody who's working out and recovering from depression, but I am. And that's the reality of what I want to share. On days when I'm not feeling great or I have low energy, I still want to create videos to reach you, to let you know that you can still make one choice. Every day, make one choice. Make one decision to do one thing. If it's all you can do on that day is to wake up out of the bed, brush your teeth, and eat some breakfast, and that's all you can do because that's all the energy you have for the entire day, do that and honor that. Don't beat up yourself because you're not able to go for a 10-mile run, or because you're not able to read a full chapter. You can only read one sentence every 30 minutes. I've been there. It's horrible. Stop comparing yourself and your abilities now with who you used to be. You have to say goodbye to the old you, because the old you is what wrecked your life in the first place. When I say wrecked your life, the dysfunction of the old you, that is what we are trying to break open, to get answers so that you can become the best version of yourself. And I know you don't see it right now, but I know deep down in your soul, if you clear away all of the clutter and the madness, you will find your why. Face yourself. Don't be afraid to go deeper into the darkness to find yourself. I just want to encourage you to stay strong. Do not give up, no matter how bad it gets. I am here to show you that there is a light at the end of the proverbial tunnel. But before you get to that light, you have to go deeper into the darkness. That's where the light is. You cannot run away from it. And the light outside, you know, can no longer work. It has to come from inside out. And I'm willing to go there if you're willing to go there too, for you to get to your light. So I just want to encourage you to stay strong, try to stay motivated, be gentle on yourself, be loving on yourself, despite what the voices in your head are saying, despite what your old self and people in your life are saying that don't understand what you're going through. Despite all of those things, I want you to be strong and think of one thing, a why that is so strong, that is so unbelievable, that it will have to take everything inside of you to accomplish that why. And I am living my why right now. I said to myself, even when I was in a mental institution and they were asking us to write our intentions and our goals on the things that are worth living for, apart from all of my other goals that I have for myself. One of the main goals that I had was to become a mental health advocate so that I could share my real story, my authentic story of what is horrible being in that dark place. So I said, once I'm able to figure out how to get out of this, I am going to dedicate a big part of my life and my time to helping others get out of their dark place. And here I am. I did it. I am in the process of doing it. And it's not easy because every day is a struggle. Every day I still struggle. I am still in the process. I'm still in recovery. I'm still self-healing. But a part of the healing and the recovery process is telling the story, is being open about the journey. And I'm here for it. And I want to encourage you again to not give up and to be strong and face a little bit of yourself one day at a time until you excavate and get to the root of the problem. And when you get to the root, then alone you could start healing. And we're here for it. Like, share, comment, ask questions, reach out. We are here for you to provide support. Go to our Facebook group. We have a lot of resources there. Videos on mental toughness, videos on meditation, just all kinds of tips and even research that you could delve into about how food is connected to your mood and your mental health. So join us, be a part of the movement. Let's end mental health stigma now. And be strong until the next video. And enjoy the day. It's raining today in beautiful St. Lucia. I am loving this weather. Just be easy and enjoy nature. Enjoy what is in front of you. Enjoy the beauty of what's in front of you. And stay in the present and let go of the past a little bit at a time until you find your footing and your grounding and you could go to the next level. But before that, we have to go and face the root. So until the next video, namaste, ashe, and be good to yourself above all. Let's end mental health stigma right now.